Hi guys, and welcome to the JODCast. You know, normally Seth is here at this time, and where's Seth?
Oh shoot! Are we starting already?
Yeah, it's like
oh my goodness.
The time.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I was so focused on my workout.
JODCast.
This is the JODCast, and we're here, and I am so happy because today we get to talk with Ashley M. Lands, New York City model who is here learning how to build an Amazon e-commerce business. And I'm still catching my breath.
Yeah, you were really...
I was trying to be impressive with the clap push-ups.
I don't know if you guys saw, like there was full clap push-ups happening over here.
So there's this new workout in Beachbody, and it's by this guy, I forget his name, but it's called The Work. And he trains a bunch of like celebrities and superstars, and he's about to do clap push-ups. And I'm thinking, oh, this is easy, no problem. And he claps behind his back.
What?
Behind his freaking back.
So I actually have seen that where they do the weird, like actually like full jolt up in the air. He did it in Creed 2, and this was my favorite scene in the whole movie. He like
where he goes completely up.
Yeah.
It's like levitation power. It's
These
insane.
are like goals of mine. I don't know. I see you. I'm going to start doing push-ups in here too.
I think we should start every single podcast that way.
Okay.
We get a chin-up bar as well.
Yeah.
And we'll start when we're like sweating
I'm like out of
and everything.
Breath just like
just watching
this right now. I can't wear motorcycle jackets anymore.
Well, I'm excited about today, Ashley, because guys, she is running this freaking show today, and she's got some super cool stuff. And I just want to tell you guys, what you're gonna get is real, raw, step-by-step tactical stuff you can apply to build your Amazon business. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to justonedime.com/freedom and yell it like Braveheart.
I like the newscaster voice. This is important.
I'm trying.
This is important. No, for real, I'm super excited. You have a lot of faith in me just letting me write this and take
Should
over.
I be nervous, you guys?
You should. You should be nervous. But
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. So I really want to touch on this because Just One Dime is growing so fast. And I'm constantly like having fun seeing what's going on. So you have so many different products.
Yeah.
And I think people out there are probably wondering, as am I, like what exactly are the current new products? So I know we have FBA, Arbitrage, Build a Brand. Do you want to like run me through this?
Absolutely. So what I love about it is it's super simple. Everything starts with justonedime.com/something. But right now, probably the most important, most central product we are so excited about, and it's not actually live yet, but I still want to talk about.
That's a good start.
It's called Build a Brand. So if you were to watch me and some of my business partners build a store from scratch, so we're standing there at a table, and it's like you're looking over our shoulder.
Yeah.
You're watching your screen, and you can see us find new products, and you can see us research new products.
Right. So I saw the trailer this morning. I'm super excited for you guys to see this one.
It gave me chills.
You don't know why I said I cried when I watched it.
I was gonna say that, but I wasn't sure if you're okay with me to say that.
Yeah.
But our advertising video made Ashley cry.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or not.
It was good. There's a reason why. My mom has a really cool brain. And she's just very creative, and I think she instinctively finds voids and fills them. That's definitely her talent. And she has two specific ideas that she's been talking to me about since, I was like in high school. And I've never known how to help her build these. Mm-hmm. But to this day, no one's ever built them. And when I saw this, I was like, I can't be and it's something I promised myself that at some point in my life, I'm going to help my mom get these patents and do this. And even doing personal research, I've never been able to get to a point that I could give her, like, this is what you do. Yeah. And when I saw the trailer, even being a part of this, I didn't realize how in-depth it was to fill that need. Yeah. And I was literally crying because as I go through this, I'm realizing that like I'll be able to instill this in my mom. Like I want to have her take this course now.
That's incredible.
And how many people that have these products that are like, maybe it's not Amazon based, like truly like I have an idea and I don't know what to do with that idea, but it could change my life and change other people's. That's what Build a Brand is. And I was just like geeky crying.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's what you just did.
That's incredible. And one of my favorite parts of that video is where you see on the screen, you see all these like, they look like little TV screens. Yeah. And it's showing you all the different places that we will go, and like going to the bank to open the LLC, going to Helium 10 or Amazal to research products, going to a factory to talk to the molding people who create that factory mold. There's so much when you just get to watch it. It's not like, oh, I'm reading a book about it or I'm taking a course, which is great. You know, I've taken many courses and they've helped me, but to actually watch someone do it and see the products they research and see the differentiation plan they make, that's one of my favorite parts. Just one more thought on that, Ashley. You mentioned your mom has these ideas, and she's had these ideas for a long time.
Yeah.
One of my business partners, she sat on an idea for over a year. And she said if she hadn't messaged me on Instagram at like 2 some in the morning her time and said, would you just, you know, for her it was like a shot in the dark. Would you just take a minute and just look at this? I'm sure you get these messages all the time. And the idea was mind-blowingly brilliant. When I saw it, I was like, okay, this is different. Because I get messages like this every single day.
You get a lot.
How many people in the world have a dream, but they feel like I can't do it? And this morning I was on a walk and I was just thinking how easy it is when you're going through life and you hear critical voices, and I'm speaking for myself, I hear critical voices in my head, maybe based on how I was raised, or maybe based on a certain system I used to be a part of, or I feel like false guilt, or like I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, or this is punishment because of a decision I made a long time ago. Like all these thoughts go through my mind.
Right. And
I was thinking, the war is in the mind. The idea that I don't have what it takes is complete, and I'm going to say it, it's bullshit. Yeah. Like people have so much more power and ability than they think. And it's sad to me that there are people who have these ideas, but in their mind they think like, I can't, or I don't know how. Why not make this possible? If you can watch someone build a business successfully and even see the mistakes we make. We'll make mistakes.
Yeah.
We'll change our mind on products. Like they're going to see the obstacles we run into, and Amazon did this. What do we do now? Or this supplier said this, or they try to cheat us. How do we handle that? That's real life raw. You can't play act that. And that's what I love about Just One Dime is that it's a group of people who are living this. They're doing it day by day.
Well, you're filling real voids, and that's what kind of shocked me about the trailer, which means that like it interpreted really well, because I know like start to finish exactly what it is, and I've seen like the lab videos. But to see it like, in a whole thing, so you understand in one moment what you're gonna be getting, like it's really crazy, because that's actually a very big void in society, is people having ideas but not knowing how to execute them. And I'm speaking specifically to, I have an invention, let's call it an invention, or an idea that hasn't come out on the market, like light bulb. There was a time we didn't have that.
It's weird to think.
It is weird to think, but all these things that like the selfie stick, you know, there was a time we didn't have that, and someone thought of it. And what if the next selfie stick or light bulb someone has thought of, but they don't know how to execute it? And suddenly you're providing a service that does. That's why I was crying, to be honest. I'm not a crazy person. It's just like you hit a nerve.
That video brings something to mind that for whoever's listening right now, whoever's watching right now, one of the most powerful mediums you have to get people engaged with something is going to be the video. And what's cool is Just One Dime, we get to see it from an Amazon side and from a coaching side. So not just from a physical product side for the products we sell, but a intangible service that we provide. And this is what I love about the media team here. This is what I love about them. They get it because they're around it. It's not like I'm like, oh, add this song or add this look to make it emotional. They just, like Jacob and Caleb and the team here, Vasily, they kick ass because they get it. It's an emotional thing for them. Like they are around it. They see the joy. They see the victory. They see the struggle. They see the tears. We didn't have to do, or I at least didn't have to do a single amount of coaching to see them create this amazing video.
That's cool to get that final.
Yes, and check this out. Just imagine all we're doing is, okay, it's the most convenient thing to talk about. We have a gong right here, and we have this mallet to hit the gong. Imagine I'm selling this gong and this mallet on Amazon. If your brand is brand registered, which the prerequisite for that is to have a trademark, you now can add videos, not just photos, which, you know, happened a few months back, but that's still amazing news. And it hasn't 100% rolled out for everyone yet. So if you haven't seen it yet, you guys just hang on. But when you add that video, it's your chance to connect emotionally with that shopper. And if you understand the joy, the feeling, the adrenaline they get when they're hitting that gong, when they're playing drums, like what it's like, if you really, really get it, then you're going to be able to create a video that gets it, and then people will get it, and then people are buying it not just because of the physical product, but because they resonate with it in their heart. Marketing 101.
Yeah, I mean,
back to you, Ashley.
A picture's worth 1,000 words, but a video actually allows you to live in that moment.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Right.
So back to our morning rituals, haha. And I can't just go. I don't even want to answer this on air.
Do you want me to start off this part of the conversation, which I think you guys are going to like a lot?
You're going to be emotionally traumatized when you hear mine, so you go first.
I'm going first because she went first last time in the embarrassing story. That was awesome, by the way. Okay, so morning rituals, the reason I want to talk about this just for a moment, and thank you for including this as well, Ashley, I don't feel like I can do justice with words with what I'm about to say. Like, I really don't. If I don't have a routine for how I start my day, if I don't have a plan, and by the way, that plan starts the night before. In Jewish culture, I'm not Jewish, but in Jewish culture, the day begins the evening before. Because what I do the night before, if I drink or not, I'm not against drinking. I like wine and rum. But if I drink or not, or how much I drink.
Right.
If what time I go to bed, if I binge watch or not, if I read, what I put into my mind, what kind of things I do, if I'm on my screen or not, it has an impact on my sleep, which directly impacts me when my alarm goes off. And I just want you to see, I think it's 5:30 today, but it is 4:30 almost every freaking day. I did, okay, to be fair, it was 4:30. I couldn't go back to sleep, so I got up at like 5:15, but typically it's 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
And my alarm goes off. What I did the night before was an investment on my day today. So my morning starts the night before. Now, my morning ritual is extremely important because how I start my day has a huge impact on everything else the rest of the day, like entirely. So for me, there's this little hairy guy. You won his heart with carrots. His name is Dakota. He is the mascot of Just One Dime.
So cute.
And he just kind of wanders around the office here, and he's becoming everyone's friends. And if you feed him a carrot, he'll like you too. But we go on a walk together.
Okay.
Almost every morning. So we'll just go on a walk. And it's still dark outside. We're just walking. And it's my time to pray. And whether you're religious or not, I don't care. But for me, I'm praying to God because I think he's given me so much. And it's my time to connect with him and to listen. And it allows me to prepare my heart. And it allows me to speak truth to myself. Because when I wake up, Ashley, I have 7 freaking different businesses to think about.
Right.
Add to that, I have a family. Add to that, we have money. And having more money I said that like Kevin O'Leary, money. Kevin O'Leary, if you're watching this,
hello, Mr.
we wanted
Wonderful.
to invite you to Ecom. But whether or not you have a little or a lot, you still have a relationship with money, and that relationship can stress the heck out of you, or it can help you. I remember the first time I got to 100,000, I was stressed because I didn't know how to manage that much. It was like being married to a new person who I didn't know. It was weird. Like, what do I do? You know what I mean?
Right.
So my point is, walking, praying, I have an oat milk latte. And it's not that makes my day good, but it's sort of a ritual for me. If I have an oat milk latte, it's just something I'm used to. And it sets a routine. And I start my day by just listening to what are the voices in my head. There's a song like that. The voices in my head. What is it?
The System of the Down?
There's so many out there. If we Googled it, you probably have 50 songs. But the point is, starting my day in a way that allows me to be aware of where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And to take ownership for my thoughts and not allow anything in the past day or my dreams, good or bad, or the stresses of the day to start controlling me.
Right.
Because otherwise I feel like I feel, it's a horrible term, but raped. Like I feel like I'm being pulled this way, pulled that way, pulled this way. And there's all these things to do. I have to have a moment where it's like this. Totally quiet.
Yeah.
And even the moon's out and I'm with Dakota and I'm just walking and I'm listening and I'm meditating. And then when I get to the beginning of my day, which is usually at a coffee shop, then I'm ready to go. And then I feel that fire in my heart begin to burn.
Right. Like you set yourself up for success.
Yeah.
So rolling into mine,
I would love to hear your ritual, your morning ritual, Ashley. This is going to be interesting.
So I actually did a full study on myself. I made myself a case study 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I think that I can afford that opportunity, or at the time I can, because people that are structured in a certain workflow they have to like work around it. I didn't at the time. So I did a lot of research.
Yeah.
And my whole point was to find out, when am I the most productive? And I've struggled this my whole life because I'm a night person. So if I'm the most productive at night, in my mind, I should be working at night. But that doesn't fit into society. And that's a bigger question. But I had to find something that fit both.
Yeah.
So I'll wake up at 4:30 and like read a book in the middle of the night. That makes me very hard to live with. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to read. And I'm really like,
Why is the light on?
I don't have a concept of time. I want to be productive all the time. But what I found was, for me personally, I'm the most productive 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And people are like, Ashley, that's a long work day.
That's pretty much, I'm productive all day. It's awesome, actually.
I'm a workaholic. If I'm not working and I'm not executing, I'm not happy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
At least there's a few of these weird people in the world. I feel better now. You know why I liked New York so much? I don't want to interrupt, but just really quick.
Yeah.
It was the fact that when I talked to this lady from England and I said, what is it like here for you? She's like, well, and by the way, guys, I love British people, okay? I'm making fun of this lady because she's cool and she's British, but like, don't get the wrong idea on this. I got a little English in me anyways. And she's like, but people don't have a good work-life balance. And I was like, that's me. Why do I feel so at home in New York?
Which is why I moved there. But I needed to be around people that understood that. However, I am not. Do I have crap on my lip?
No.
You wiped your lip. I was like, oh, do I have something on my face? Because I'm drinking coffee.
This is like the baseball umpire. Hey, Ashley, you shouldn't have told me that.
No, I totally thought. Oh, God, no.
Just make sure the camera's on me when I'm doing it and then show her reaction. Go ahead. Back to your story.
This is gonna be so bad. I found that 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. works for me. So it's a 10-hour window that I am like, you can call me, you can be involved with me. I believe that there's 23 hours in a day. And I think 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. is cursed. And that is my entire life. From 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., I don't know if my brain is not around.
That is a problem.
It's very weird.
No, but do you know why that's a problem?
I would love to know.
Like specifically for you and for me.
Yeah, I would love to know.
We're changing the JODCast time recording to 9 a.m.
Oh, is this going to be like Psycho? Is this going to be Psycho? That it's just a personal weird thing.
Wow.
But I say all that to say my morning starts around me starting work at 10 a.m.
Right.
And same thing. Like, I have to wake up. I read in the morning. I schedule time for it. And I actually don't care if it's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I open a book.
You just read until whenever.
2 years ago, I was in Miami and I had a really weird time in my life, and my friends were talking about very normal things that I would typically have something to add. They were talking about like business tech and this and that. And I was just sitting there thinking,
why am I not
happened?
Engaging? Yeah.
Like, why don't I realized it was because I wasn't putting anything in.
Yes.
So I take time every morning to put something in.
Smart.
Like in silence. A lot of people probably think I jam out in the morning. That's very rare. Like it's dead silent and wherever I am, if I can make that happen.
Yeah.
And I'm putting things in.
Yeah.
Because what you put in, you get back out. You can't just keep taking out. You want to put things in. And doing that, same thing for the night before, by the way. Like I kind of take that time to go back and put things in. Like what's news, and it doesn't have to have a particular topic. It's just my time that I'm investing in myself. It could be like fashion, merchandising, whatever it may be.
But you're still investing in you.
You're reading something that has nothing to do with you. It's outside of yourself. And that way you're not just emptying a vessel and not putting anything back in. And I found that stabilizes me more as a person. Yeah. Just remembering that it's really easy, by the way, to get focused on output.
Yeah.
So it would be really nice.
We live in a society that's like driven by that. Like how much did you do? Did you do enough hours? Are your sales quota met?
If your phone didn't die, I promise you none of us would charge it. By the way, we wouldn't think about it. We wouldn't charge it. It's hard enough for me to remember to charge that phone as it is. And I think that is the thing that changed my life, was when I was like, you focus on input and output and try and match it as much as possible, because that's like helps me stabilize.
Yeah. This is so good for entrepreneurs to hear, because I guarantee you guys watching or listening right now, I promise you this, I will die on this hill. As you learn how to build a business, you will reach challenges that a lot of people who hawk courses will never tell you, because they want to make you think it's easy. If you know these 3 simple secrets or these 3 simple steps, it's so easy, follow me. No, it's hard. It's freaking hard. But what I love about it is you learn more about yourself. And I'm watching you literally transform Ashley. Like I'm literally seeing this metamorphosis take place, and it is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Just the self-awareness level.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, and this was me for a long time, they don't have what is the right word? The honesty with themselves to actually say, wait a minute, stop. I can't blame my mom for this, or my dad for this, or my brother for this, or my sister, or my dog, or my cat, or my hamster. I don't care, guinea pig. This is something only I can control. And being able to literally focus on me and become a healthy person holistically, like mentally, relationally, spiritually, financially, business-wise, every way, and really become a person that I would be proud of. If I met Seth, would I think that dude is awesome?
Right.
You know? I'm getting there. But being it, and then also being able to accept grace, that you're never going to be where you want to be ever.
I think that's really important.
Isn't there like the society thing, you're supposed to be perfect?
But I think that's
where people get really critical if you're not society's theme of perfect.
You and I have the same good bad habit, which is I'm hypercritical of myself, and I know it because you say it, and I'm that way. Like my internal dialogue can actually
you diagnose me correctly.
It can spin to dark really quick, and I think that's something that I'm having to learn now. Like I haven't learned it prior. Is give yourself some grace, but just keep going forward. Yeah. Like you can't run all the time. Yeah. And I've always been that person growing up training like an athlete and all these things. Like run all the time, but you can't, because when does your body have time to recover? Right. So I'm trying to teach myself that balance of like give yourself a moment before you go forward. And that's kind of my that's my morning time at this point. It's like give yourself a moment before you go forward.
Can you go to a website really quick?
Yeah.
Can you go to Melissa Woodrow? Go to her Instagram.
Hey guys, I'm gonna screen share.
Let's do this. Melissa Woodrow. If you just go to her Instagram.
Oh, okay. So
just Instagram.com and then.
Oh, I'm already on Instagram. This is my next talking point. Is Victoria's Secret.
Perfect. Just type
Melissa.
You got it, and then Wood, WOODROW.
Cool. Let's see.
That's her, I believe. Just try that one.
Is there a dot?
No, that's not her.
All right, hold on. I'm actually gonna let you.
Yeah. I'll navigate it. You guys, I want you guys to see this. I don't know what you're
looking for.
Yeah, no problem. I want you guys to see this because what you're talking about, so this is the other joy of working with different people, and you want to work with people who speak life into your life, you guys. Okay, this is so, here, I'm just going to do it like this. Instagram, and then Melissa.
I know Instagram is not very intuitive if you're looking for someone's name.
So this lady, Melissa Wood Health, so she had a video on this morning, and she had such a great message. And the message is basically this: quit trying to be perfect. Like there's this idea in society that you have to be this perfect person to succeed. And what happens is we live under the control of other people's judgment. Yeah. You know, based on what we're hearing in our head or what we assume people are judging us for, or maybe our friends, or maybe our authorities or our parents. And we're constantly trying to please, trying to perform, trying to be good enough. And Ashley, for me, as long as I did that at Apple, I wasn't free. Yeah. That's why I became an entrepreneur. I'm not saying you have to be an entrepreneur to be free, but for me, it was a mindset change. I had to say, wait, is this really, truly what I want my future to be? Right. And it wasn't. I realized that I would not be satisfied, but I had to start by believing I could do so much more. And that's why I started with a little dime. It gave me something tiny. I can turn that into 20 cents. I can turn it into 40 cents. Well, I can get to 80. Why not $1.60? Right. And it just, and then 320, just keep growing and growing. I had to start small to have just a little bit of faith for the next step. Yeah. But what she said is she was getting onto her treadmill. She's about to do a video. Yeah, feel free to scroll it. Really neat lady. And she's on the treadmill and she says, normally I was going to record, but I forgot my mic. And normally I wouldn't record because without my mic, it's not going to sound professional. And she said, screw it. I'm recording anyways because the message is so much more important than how professional it looks. Now, I'm not saying don't make sure your videos and photos aren't professional. Of course you should. I'm sitting here talking to a professional model, so maybe this isn't the exact right message. But you get what I'm saying?
Do you think it was on her story? I want to click.
Yeah, you can click it. I don't think her story is going to come up on there, though. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, but the cool thing is her point was she's changed so much, and she was okay to record it. Right. And the funny thing is, I felt the same way about the last 10 cents YouTube video we did. The audio wasn't excellent because it went through the wrong mic. We could have recorded, and I said no. let's just post it. It's the content that matters. So
Yeah.
taking that pressure off of trying to be this perfect person, accepting that you're going to mess up, show yourself grace, and then believe you can be 10 times what you are today.
Yeah.
Like that, I find nothing more motivating in life than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's one of those things
Screen share's over.
Screen share, isn't it? So I think it's one of those things that you really have to just ask yourself these questions. Somebody asked me one time, what was the most, I don't know exactly how they phrase it. I think what was the most pivotal like thing you ever learned? And mine was weird. It was that I didn't actually have to be successful. I beat myself up for my entire life.
You gave yourself permission to be you.
Yeah.
And let me guess, now because of that, it's allowed you to be more successful than you dreamed.
Yeah. Because I felt chained to the idea of what success was.
Yeah.
And that there was no option for me but that.
Yeah.
And that chain kept me in like a real state of misery for like most of my life. And it was this weird, like, I was actually walking in New York and I passed a candle store. And I see this girl and she's just like working in this candle store and I'm the psycho looking in the window. But what I was thinking was, could I work in that candle store and be happy? And I had to ask myself a few questions. And what I came with is I don't actually, like, I'm not chained to success.
Yeah.
But it's what I want. And because it's what I want, it gives me joy. It's not a burden.
Now you're free to choose versus this is what I have to be because this is what society told me I have to be.
Yeah, it wasn't society. It was it was a personal thing. But, you know,
okay. Gotcha.
like, I mean, I don't think society, maybe it is. Maybe it's the time I grew up. But realizing that changed me as a person because I realized that success is something that I want and working hard is something that I want and it brings me joy and I'm able to push through hard times because of that.
Yeah.
So
that's really powerful.
Yeah, I hope I hope people would relate to like the morning ritual thing. I think it's something you have to like go through.
And you have to figure out what works for you because it's going to be different for everyone based on your beliefs, based on where you're from, based on your body, your health, your mind.
Your mind.
Right. Some people might need to light a candle and do yoga. Some people need to go for a run. Some people need to go to the gym and scream. Some swim. Some walk. You know, for me, something about it sounds a little weird, but I'm walking and the moon is out and it's dark. And I feel like no one can see me because they probably can't except Dakota. And I can just be free with my thoughts. You know what I mean? Like it just somehow feels like it's a safe place just to process. And then I'm like, okay, rip open the curtains and let's go, baby.
You're ready for the theater show. Speaking of ripping open the curtains, Do it. I did a little research and here is, I hope we can discuss this.
Just really quick, I have to interrupt you. Just so you guys know, when Ashley says she's did a little research, we need perspective. Because she went to this event, this speaking event in New York, and she said, Seth, this is like when I first met Ashley. Like within the first 2 weeks, she's like, I'm going to send you a few notes. She sent me a book. It was awesome.
It was like it was a PDF with graphs. And that was my notes.
I promise you guys are about to get unloaded with a ton of content, which you're going to love.
All right. But if you are, okay, some people love to go off the cuff and some people don't. So if you say you love to go off the cuff.
Which are you?
I am a blend.
Interesting.
I like to make a plan and wreck it.
If you ask a question and I don't answer it, she'll make me answer that question.
Yeah, all right. Awesome. I might be a planner.
No. But you do well off the cuff because I think
it's a blend.
Can I just say something really quick before you do that, okay? This is a little bit off the cuff, all right? One of you guys commented on the YouTube video that you really appreciate how we don't interrupt each other. I want to apologize in advance. Ashley's from New York. I'm kind of a blunt, weird, crazy guy. So we have to interrupt each other. Yeah. I still hope you watch the show.
Yeah, we still hope you watch the show.
We show each other respect. I think that's what you meant, right? Okay, good.
I'm going to say that's what you meant. So if has to be people out there that are watching this big amass of like how to start an Amazon store, the best way to do it, you got a lot of keynotes. Yeah. But if you're more of a tactical person and you want to say, how much money do I need to save to start? Yeah. This is what I tried to put together. So based on the 5 courses in the FBA Mastery, which is Start, Find, Build, Launch, Grow. JustOneDime.com/start. Sorry, JustOneDime.com/freedom if you're wondering what she's talking about. Yeah. So I based it on that, but all the research I pulled together says for around $2,000, start to finish, you can start an Amazon store and launch product.
It's a new dance.
So here's what I put in the start portion, and feel free to like go back and forth with me because obviously I'm new, but this actually helped me a lot in my spreadsheet.
Sure.
So under start, research product samples that are $100 to $200. Scour Amazon categories and products to identify an existing product that will sell. Look for one with a bestseller ranking between 100 and 6,000 in the high level category. You want things that are selling but aren't selling too much.
So let's start with the 2,000. First of all, thank you for bringing these notes. I love it. So I know this is a super popular question. A lot of people, it's one of the most common questions people ask. And I love that you asked this because I'm going to give you guys a rundown of how to think about it.
Yeah.
So yes, you can start an Amazon store with $2,000. Yes, absolutely. I started it with $400, technically a dime. I doubled it up to $400 just for asking random people I'd never talked to in my life, and I started with that. I just found a way to find really cheap inventory and resell it.
Okay.
That's all I did. So if you're like, man, Seth, I only got, let's just say one of you guys watching, I got $750, okay? Find a product. Don't start an LLC. Don't start a trademark. Don't do any of those things that cost you money yet. There's some people out there, they're like, no, I have to have my trademark. I have to have my LLC.
And I think that's what I'm feeling like because I'm a little like rigid.
I might be like, kind of implying this about Ashley, but
hi, I'm rigid.
I love it.
Alcoholics
but don't look at it that way.
Okay.
You want to move to money as quickly as you can.
Right.
Kind of like, okay, newborn baby. I'm a father of 4 kids, so great illustration. What's the first thing the baby needs?
I'm not a mama.
They need milk.
Milk? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, cool.
So the first thing that baby needs is milk.
Okay.
And they need to be fed. So treat your business like it's this little baby. I'm not kidding. It is so much like raising a kid. You wouldn't believe it. So the first thing that kid needs is milk. It needs milk or it will die. So the first thing your business needs is cash.
Right.
So if you start with 750, that's going to conceive on the birth illustration.
This is painful.
Keep going. The 750 is the conception of the cash. But once the business gives birth, you're going to take that 750. You're going to find a product that people want that no one is selling.
Right. So lower on the bestseller ranking.
It does, and you're not going to differentiate it. In other words, if it's a mallet,
wow,
you're not going to improve it. All you're doing, Ashley, is you're just getting cash. Okay, it's all you're doing is getting cash.
I literally know what I'm doing from like 6 p.m. till midnight.
For those of you guys who are listening on audio, I wish you could see Ashley's face right now. You're seriously missing out.
Here's the thing. I've been told that I'm so logical that it takes me longer to do action because I'm breaking down. I'm trying to make this plan.
Yes.
And that's why I made this spreadsheet because I kind of wanted you to tear my spreadsheet apart. And I saw
your first presentation. You sent me with the little graphs and the circles and things. But what you're going to do is you're going to find a product that everyone wants but no one is selling. That's it.
Yep.
So for example, I found my first product, as I mentioned, was urns that hang around your neck. So I found a lot of people were selling it on eBay. No one was selling that particular product on Amazon. Now, obviously the question comes up, how do I know people are searching for it? I can find out if someone's selling it. You search for it. It doesn't show up. No one's selling it. That's easy. Just for example, let's just say, I don't know, it's 12 inches. 12-inch mallet, I search it on Amazon, nothing shows up.
Yeah.
Now I know no one's selling it. How do I know people want it? It's very simple. You go to keyword tool Dominator, and it will tell you exactly what people are searching.
I'm in a screen share. I'm going to pull this up.
Absolutely.
I think is it one of the things in the course that is suggested?
It is.
Oh, then it's pinned in my Safari.
Perfect.
So let's go.
Keyword tool Dominator will tell you what people are searching. In fact, if you're not already logged into it, we might be able to test it right now. If not, we can actually do this manually too. You can find out what people are searching. Find something that people are searching that no one is buying. Now, this is just to get cash, because guess what's going to happen in like 2 months? In 2 months, you are going to find that other people start to copy you.
You see they're pinned up here?
Hey, look.
Yeah, so it's pinned. Party.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I being dumb?
No, it was pinned, so it's recognizing it.
Dumb needs his gum.
That's okay.
All right. This is so cool, actually. Okay, check this out. Watch, you guys. Sharing screen, team. Okay. So, guys, just take out that little part right there. EJ or whoever. EJ. So, go to up there, type in velvet 12-inch mallet.
Would I like this?
Yeah, that's fine. Like however it feels natural. Yep, E.T.
It's stuck.
Extraterrestrial.
No, it's frozen.
Her computer is as
Okay.
thick as a volume on one of the presidents of the United States. Okay, so check this out, you guys. Right now I'm noticing we have pear drum brushes. Just start scrolling slowly. I don't see anything even close to that. Keep going.
Yeah, I used Fury.
Keep going. Okay, here we go. But are
Okay.
these velvet?
No.
Nope. Wait, velvet head. That one is velvet. Look at that.
Oh, okay. Velvet
That one's
head
velvet.
Drumstick.
Okay, 12 inch. Okay, so we found something people are selling. So let's go back to the top. Let's edit it. Let's change it to velvet. Make the first word of that phrase maroon velvet.
Ah, so we're gonna make
keep
it
velvet.
more.
Yeah. What we're doing is we're making it a longer tail keyword.
Right.
So the more specific you get, the fewer people, the lower the chance someone is selling it.
Que nada.
Boom. Okay, perfect. Now, if we were signed in a keyword tool Dominator, we can do this next time. And you type in asterisk velvet 12-inch mallet. What it will do is it will show you every phrase someone searches on Amazon, and the asterisk represents a word that could be anything.
Got you.
So if it's maroon velvet, blue velvet, yellow, it'll pull them all up. And if
Right.
you notice that its ranking is between 1 and 5, the lower the number, the better, that means there's high demand. All you do is go to here, go there really quick. If you just do Command T and open a new tab, or however you want to do it.
You're like teaching me so many things about this MacBook that I don't know if you can tell. Like,
Okay, to be fair, I used to manage a tech support team for Macs. So all right, just go to dhgate.com. DHgate is one of the easiest places to source products quickly, free shipping, super easy interface. All you're doing is making cash. So let's just pretend you found blue 12-inch velvet mallets,
Right.
okay? You noticed it was ranking from 1 to 5 in Keyword Tool Dominator. You also notice that no one's selling it. What does that tell me? People are searching it. No one is selling it.
Yeah.
That means when Ashley, you pretending this is it, okay? When you buy these, assuming they have it, on DHgate, you ship them in as they are and you begin to sell them. You're going to churn your $750 into $300.
They go directly to fulfillment by Amazon.
Good job.
From DHgate.
Boom. You guys get that? So they're shipping these to Amazon's fulfillment center. You can have DHgate ship them directly to Amazon's fulfillment center. You didn't even
Screen
say
share,
warehouse.
stop.
I'm impressed. Most people call it a warehouse. Sorry, I didn't mean to spit. It like flew.
I didn't even notice. I was like, my hair keeps sticking to the microphone. No, this is super, like, this is tactile, like, things that go from, okay, it's like a big picture to something I could do. Because in my mind, I've been making spreadsheets of like, okay, I need to save this much money, and then I need to do it at this moment, and then I need to do it at that moment. And that's how my brain, you didn't know the dark things happening inside my brain when y'all weren't looking.
From 9 to 10 a.m.
So, okay.
I'm going to send you a Slack message at 9 a.m. Hey, Ashley, how's it going? With a bunch of smiley faces. First time I will ever see her upset. Because I don't think I've ever seen her upset. But I want to say one more thing. And I'm so glad you brought this up, because the fact that you are tending to think about, wait, I need this, this, and this, makes you an effing good future CEO. That's how a CEO needs to think.
Right.
But it also can hold you back from starting or launching or getting to cash.
Yeah, but it's nice.
You see what I mean?
That's why it's important to have a community, is because I'm the quiet one in the back that's like planning my like mysterious attack, when necessarily this is I'm so happy we're talking about it on air, because it's a question that I'm like, oh, this is my own issue coming out. My own issue is that I'm such a strategizing person.
Yes, you're a strategist. Yeah, you're strategizing.
So I'm just totally failing at words. But I like this because this is something I can just start right now. And that's really where I was going to get, is why am I being so analytical when like we've got this great team here? I don't think I need to be so analytical of like the background of my life of like, okay, I need to 100% worry about credit card debt, and then there's interest, and then there's this and that. What am I doing?
Don't even worry about it. Move to that product. And here's the cool thing, Ashley. Once you have, let's just say you turn the 750 into 300, for example.
Right.
Now you're going to take that 300, you're going to buy more. Now, while these are selling, you're going to notice that all of a sudden, within about 2 months, other people start selling it because they realize, oh, I can sell these too.
Right.
So your long-term plan is, this isn't your brand.
Yeah.
This is just to generate cash. But once you have that cash, that's when you say, okay, I'll spend the 200 and something it costs for an LLC. I'll spend
Right.
the 750, to start filing for a trademark. You begin to now invest in building your business structure as you go. That's where you're taking all the money from it. You're putting it right back in. Just like for a little newborn baby, for a while, you're feeding the baby. What do they do for you? They cry, they poop, they spit up, and they're cute. That's it. She killed a mosquito.
It's a phone call.
And here's what's cool. Because you're doing that, you're investing in that baby. Now, as it grows and grows and grows, eventually that becomes a toddler. Then it becomes a middle schooler, then a high schooler, then an adult.
Yeah.
Now you get a return on the investment because you become friends with that child. They invest back in you. They appreciate you. They love you. But when they were a baby, they didn't know anything. So you are pretty much sacrificing for your business so that someday that business will make you money. And
You just killed my whole rest of the spreadsheet, by the way. Like, it's all gone because it's no longer.
Actually, Ashley, I disagree, and here's why. Based on what I am trying to see through your computer, and I don't have Superman vision yet, I think you should talk about those, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because some of you guys are going to be like, okay, that's great, but I do have to pay for these things at some point. Can you tell me what they are and what they cost? And we can tackle that.
Okay, so let's say we did the product research. Moving on to so are you saying I should skip out the portion of Alibaba and go correct to the other one?
DHgate,
Is better.
yes,
Okay,
for the first product.
great. For the
To
very
start.
first product.
Right. And there are some people who go to Alibaba first, and that's totally fine too. You might go to DHgate and find these and like, hey, if I sell these for $20, but because of the fees and the cost, let's say the cost is like $10, I'm not going to make any money. So then you go to Alibaba and you find them for $8, but you have to buy 250 more in quantity.
You get
That's
it.
fine. So it's not like it's a standard DHgate you start with. I'm just simply telling you exactly what I did and what's worked for many of our students.
I think it will help me a lot in that. Okay, so then I moved on to order inventory. So it's the same thing. That's going to be your biggest initial cost is getting your inventory.
Right.
And I put that between 500 and 2,500.
Yeah.
I made that the highest because you could scale it for what works for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, essentially, that can be based on a little bit of research of what is selling, and you can make that decision based on what you have.
Correct.
So I put that in build. And I also put you may need a freight forwarder if this is coming from China. Would DHgate eliminate that, or no? You still need a freight forwarder.
They will automatically drop it in for you. So
Gotcha.
in other words, when you have it shipped, it's already built into the system. DHgate is very simple and easy to order from. Alibaba, a little more complicated, because here's the way it works. DHgate is kind of like Amazon. It's like the Amazon of suppliers.
Okay.
You're buying it and they take care of everything. But when you go to Alibaba, it's more like a network of suppliers. It's to get you in contact with a supplier. Then you work with that supplier directly, and they will ask you, do you want us to manage the shipping? Do you have an outside freight forwarder? It's a little more like a traditional supplier setup. The difference is in Alibaba, you have more customization options, especially if you're trying to differentiate.
Yeah.
And you get lower cost per unit options, but you have to buy at bigger minimum order quantities.
Which is why I like that you're saying this, because I did the research based on Alibaba, because a lot of times it says you can differentiate a product at no extra cost. So I like this, but I found out that people don't like that it's not a metal handle because it should be. Okay, please change that. And so, but this is great for your very first product.
And you're not in love with mallets. This isn't your future goal. You're coming out with Land's cream or something. So that's your future brand. This is just cash. This is just like, I'm in hustle mode. I freaking need money to make my business live.
Right. But if you're asking me, the next thing is obviously you're going to make that choice of fulfillment by you or fulfillment by Amazon. Right. I'm saying go with FBA all the way.
Absolutely.
Always. Okay.
It was a very hard decision when I first made it. For some reason, me no longer having control of that made me scared. Okay. So when I first shipped them in, part of me died. I know it sounds so silly, but I thought, man, I loved the process. I have the product. I packaged it up. I would lay it right here. I remember the gray carpet and the white wall next to it, and my ugly as whatever.
Shit.
Sure. I thought of something worse. So I remember laying it there and thinking, that's $10. Next one. That's $10. And I felt so good. Like, I'm freaking making money.
Right.
But then it's like, I can't do this all day. Like, we literally line up the whole family and we're all doing this. It's like, this is insane. My kids have to go to school.
Which is why
sleep.
That was my decision. Is my life structure does not. I can't handle product. So FBA.
Your strategy is going to serve you well.
Okay. So now the putting into here is time to get creative, because even if you're just selling mallets and it's not in love with it, you do want to brand it, right?
But before we do that, I just want to mention one thing about the 500 to 2,500
Yeah.
for the inventory. So on average, $3,500 probably average for your cost of inventory if you've differentiated it well.
Got you.
However, I have seen people do it at $500, but it was a unique product for their first product that was differentiated, but it was very unique. And there's two kinds of differentiation. Okay, one is where you're adding real value, and one is where you're adding perceived value, real and perceived. So perceived value would be your photos, your videos, your copy, like all of that. It's perceived because it's not actual value. I'm not buying the photo.
Touch it.
Right. But I'm making it look great so people want to buy it because they can't touch or hear or smell or feel the product because it's on a webpage.
Well, maybe
that's
I
perceived value.
Misunderstood you.
Keep going. Yeah.
Because you contradicted yourself unless I misunderstood you.
I probably did. I do that sometimes.
We were talking about selling this as my very first product. We're
Correct.
not going to differentiate it. We're just going to sell it.
Correct.
So you're saying that the product $500 for something differentiated.
You were so you were saying before differentiate $500, $2,500 for the first shipment, non-differentiated.
Yeah.
She's right.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay. So we got
I was just excited to talk about differentiation, but I won't talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
If that's something that also requires sub-steps, and
right.
So if we want to play with it for the very first order.
Right.
So then we're there. And then now, how are we going to particularly brand this non-differentiated first round off DHgate product?
You're not.
You're not.
You don't need to.
Okay.
Like you're not. I mean,
well, that cuts out $1,000 in my allocated budget.
Nice.
So.
Like you're still gonna have to call your store a name.
Yep.
But that doesn't cost anything. Do you need to put a logo on it? I wouldn't do it because here's the thing. If I was to buy, okay, let's say I go to Alibaba and I find these, okay?
Right.
And they're already made as maroon, velvet, blah, 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 blah. So I can buy them as they are, and I could probably get like 250, which is a really low MOQ, minimum order quantity. Yeah. But if I now say, no, I want my logo added, they're going to say, well, you have to buy at least 1,000 units.
Got you.
So now I'm making a bigger investment. And because I didn't differentiate it outside that little logo mark,
right.
It's easy for people to copy me, and I might have inventory sitting, which is the death of a business.
Got you. I'm also making minimal order requirement.
I'm still excited to talk about differentiation, by the way.
So I mean, essentially, do you run an ad on that?
No,
so
you don't need to.
Just let it.
You can. I mean, it depends. Usually people get confused over ads. The number one reason to run an ad on Amazon is not to sell your product. It's to get data on your product.
PPC
exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, if I decide to push a YouTube video out and I see more people respond to this one than this one, it's telling me why this review of my physical product is doing better than this one. It had to do with the person's presentation. So yeah, you're going to use it to sell, but the main purpose of PPC is to get it ranking so that it sells organically.
Gotcha.
But in order to get it ranking, I have to optimize. How to optimize? Based on how they interact with those keywords.
So you're going to love this, by the way, and I'm going to have to screen share because it writes on. Remember when we were talking about Nordic mugs?
Yes.
So I'm reading CNN this morning, and there, to my surprise, is a Norse tradesman, genuine Viking drinking
I'm buying one of those
mug.
if you don't buy one for me.
It's really awesome. Okay, so now...
Oh, seriously, that looks like a horn or something. That is awesome.
It's a really cool mug.
This takes me back to Sweden when I went into this... I'm not kidding. We went into a... what are those guys called that live up north? My mind is blanking. The guys that used to live up north they were violent.
The Vikings?
Yes, thank you. The Vikings.
You were blanking on Vikings?
This is horrible.
Okay,
I was drinking rum. If you guys haven't seen this, you need to see this on YouTube. I was drinking rum. I got to tell the story. I'm sitting there with part of our staff, my family. We're having fun. There's this giant, I'm not kidding, a huge dude brings you in. Like he's just like, hello. How are you? Come sit here. Like this giant Viking looking dude. And I'm sitting down. Then these two German people walk in and we're talking to them and having fun. It was hilarious. And I'm sitting there and apparently I qualify as a Viking, or I like to think that, because they walked over.
Sure.
One of the waitresses grabbed this huge, it was like a wool rug.
Oh.
And put it over my shoulders. She put a helmet on my head. She handed me a sword and a shield. So I'm like, this is awesome.
Is this when you guys started fighting in the video?
Oh, you saw that.
It's also like the most awesome video. Now
so
everyone needs
doing
to see
this with their mugs on the table. For those of you guys who can't see, I just did a cool demo. And then so I get up and I challenged the big guy and we fought and he beat me and knocked me down. It was really funny. We got it all on video.
I like that he actually took time to knock you down.
Back to your story.
That's awful.
It was still cool. Like Like, would you rather not get knocked out by a Viking or be able to tell the story that you were?
No, I would totally want to get knocked out by the Viking.
It's
worth it. Not even a
Except
question.
you take like Krav Maga, you'd probably take him down.
You know what?
You'd probably think, oh, you're just really a dainty maisel or maiden.
Dainty maiden comes out of the air.
Boom!
Dainty maiden comes in hard.
Goes out with a flying kick.
So on the topic of the mug, so this ad comes up. And I'm going to pull it back up so we can go in order.
See how she stays very focused on her point.
So
this is fun. I'm going to have so much fun with this.
So here's the ad that I see. And so these are my notes. But just so you guys understand, this popped up when I'm reading CNN.
Yeah.
Now, I clicked this little corner button, because I was like, how, if this were my mug and I knew Ashley had been searching these mugs but didn't buy one, I would want Ashley to see this mug again because I totally bought one.
Sure.
So how did they sell me on this? So I clicked the little button just to go a bit further, and it brings me to here. So now we see these Amazon advertising preferences. So Amazon's actually telling you, I want your take on what kind of an ad was it that targeted me on another platform.
Right.
I knew I was being sold, but I didn't care because I wanted the mug.
So when you clicked on that button, have you opened an Amazon store Seller Central account yet?
I have not.
Okay, it took you here. We are personalized ads. Okay, they're just asking. Okay, got it.
Any person could click this.
This is super cool. All they're doing is trying to figure out how to personalize it for you based on your internet browser. Personalize or do not. This has never happened to me, so I'm learning as I go.
But this is a tiny little thing that I clicked. So basically, any person could have clicked that. I just took the time to say, what is Amazon offering me?
Yeah.
But what type of an ad, going back to this, what type of an ad do you think that is? Came up.
I believe it's an affiliate ad.
I'm going back to
there's
see
several
if it's
kinds
still
of ads.
here.
So
No,
one
it
is called an
changed.
affiliate ad. I don't know for sure, but I can tell you the different kinds. One is called an affiliate ad.
Okay.
Which means if some blogger is talking about Norse mugs or Nordic mugs, and you click on it and you buy it, they're going to get a tiny percentage for advertising. It's not their mug. It's the bloggers advertising someone else's
This is
mug.
what we were talking about previously, which is the affiliate program.
Exactly.
You think that's what an ad is? You think that's where it came from?
I don't think so. The other option is you can, if you are a established brand, can you go to the Amazon link itself?
I can't because I screenshot and when I go back to it, it doesn't
If you go to
regenerate.
Amazon.com and type in Norse Tradesman Genuine or Norse Tradesman Horn Mug, I can guarantee it'll come up. That'll help us. Just try it. But the other kind of ad is where if you're an established brand, you can pay extra for Amazon to advertise your ad on other websites. And often that will be because you're what's called a vendor seller. So a vendor seller, oh man, I just lost my train of thought because that is awesome. So those of you guys who can't see, we're looking at Norse mugs on Amazon.
Cool.
It's amazing. But what I want to tell you is if you go to Amazon and if it is being advertised, if you are a vendor seller, that means, let's just say I manufacture these mugs in Pakistan, just for example, okay? I sell the mugs to Amazon, and then Amazon sells them as their own private label product.
Got you.
So when Amazon's so I'm not a third-party seller. I am. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
As a vendor seller, I'm a vendor. So Amazon buys from me, and I'm done.
Wow.
Like, oh, you buy from me, done. Okay. You guys determine the branding and all that. That's what that very well may be. So Amazon's advertising their own it's called first party seller product instead of a third party seller.
They knew it based on my search history.
Exactly.
Okay, but
it's like Instagram or Facebook. You mention one thing, like you mentioned.
Yeah, the algorithm.
Skinny lentils.
Yeah.
And boom, this ad comes up with the jumping, half-starved lentil. It's kind of weird.
I thought that was just very interesting because I'm right there. You can stop screen sharing, guys. I just thought it was interesting because I'm just reading an ad and I'm like, Amazon, you got me.
Oh yeah.
But it works. So speaking of ads, Black Friday's coming up.
Oh yeah.
And we got a little over a month till Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So it's 30 days out. What should Amazon sellers listening right now be thinking about over the next 30 days? Because I'm sure you have some little gems.
Oh yeah. So expect your sales to go up 70 to 140% more on Black Friday. If you're selling products that are seasonal, like October type, November-ish, Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's going to be even more. But as a general rule of thumb, somewhere between 70 and 140, and it's easy to remember, you just think 70 times 2.
Right.
Around that range, your sales should increase on Black Friday. Now here's what's funny. Amazon Prime Day was in July. We will have,
right,
after Black
July.
Friday, we will have sold more products on Prime Day than Black Friday. Amazon Prime Day is sort of like Amazon's special day where,
well, yeah,
like all
it's
these
a big
discounts,
deal.
you know what I'm talking about.
I
It was
got
2 days this
19
time.
emails from Amazon that they're like, "Hey, do you want computers? Hey, do you want this? Hey, do you want that?" And me, I'm like, "Yes, I do. Yes, I want all of it."
I hope you bought one of my products.
I probably did.
Yes.
I bought a lot of stuff. Like,
So
yeah.
Amazon Prime Day is sort of like Amazon's own Black Friday.
Right.
But Amazon's smart. They're kind of creating their orange Black Friday, but they're also leveraging or attaching to Black Friday as well.
Right.
It's
So
very
it's-
simple. You do deals. So for example, you go into the advertising section of your Seller Central account and you say, buy one, get two, or buy one, get 50% off the next one, or here's a 30% discount. Now, there's several advantages to this. Most people think, oh, I'll make a lot of money. That's actually not the most important part. The most important part is if you don't take advantage of Black Friday, you won't get sales that everyone else is getting, which means if you have competitors selling mallets and they sell 60 on that day, even if they lose money selling them, what happens on the next day?
They're ranked higher.
Boom! You're
Yeah.
getting this. This is awesome.
Okay.
Because you guys understand, if you sell fat, the faster you sell, the more you rank. So now you're going to have to spend money using PPC ads to get yours to ranking as high as your competitors. But Black Friday, why didn't you use it then? Because that's your opportunity to
Yeah.
leverage where people are already expecting deals and they're ready to spend a lot of money.
Advertising section on your Amazon seller account,
Yes.
create the deals there.
Exactly.
I mean,
And-
this is a big deal.
Nice pun.
It's a big deal.
But make sure the deals are fitting to your product. So let's say you're selling a Norse mug, would be very different than if you're selling a camera. Like for a camera, like an expensive 4K camera, you're probably not going to do a buy one, get the second one free.
Right.
You might say buy this and get this extra whatever, or try to think of a good example of that. Hold on. Okay, so if it's a higher product, let's say it's like $2,000 product, okay?
Yeah.
If you have a $300 discount, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do buy one, get one free. That would kill you. But then if it's something cheaper, like a mug, you might do get a second one for free. See what I mean?
Yeah, so it's just scaling for your business. Like, what
Exactly.
is my product? I mean, that makes sense. It's just logic at the end of the day. But the important thing to know is Black Friday. Every time you do it, I'm like, I have stuff on my face. Every time he touches his
Apparently,
face. I
touch my face all the time.
But I think he's quietly trying to tell me that, like, I like got
It's
coffee on
subconscious.
myself. So, I mean, I think that's really important because if you already have these things in place, you want to take advantage of what Amazon is giving you, which is a lot, by the way.
Yes.
It's very intuitive. So, doing deals, that's something, if you haven't thought about it, now you got 30 days to like plan and execute. So I read
and start the deals 3 days before. Don't start them on the day of, because
Nice.
sometimes some deals get rejected or not approved, especially if you're doing lightning deals, which we could talk about in another episode if you want.
Start the deals 3 days before.
Because it'll build your momentum so that you start getting sales even before then. That way you're more likely to show up on Black Friday, which means you'll have like triple the amount of sales as a
You're
result.
ranking higher, and then if there's some, it's kind of like with
Exactly.
the Facebook ad I was doing. Like,
Right.
I was like, oh,
Right.
I shouldn't have started this ad on the day of because now I gotta wait. But those are things that you learn as you go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really helpful. So moving on to, this is funny. I was reading a lot on CNN this morning, and I read an article about a girl named Zhang Lizan, and she is single-handedly trying to bring very classic styles of Chinese period pieces into current fashion. And it was just based on her likes. And the point of this is, if someone wants to get into fashion merchandising, but they haven't necessarily considered Amazon,
Right.
what are some things that they could think about? And it could be, should they create the product? Should it only be products that they're trying to do arbitrage on? Like, what if it's a handmade product?
Right.
What are some pointers for Amazon?
Excellent. Assuming that you have cash flow, assuming that you have cash, the easiest way, in my experience, to build a fashion brand on Amazon is to start with the accessories, not the clothing pieces. And there's several reasons for that. There are more clothing pieces on Amazon than any other kind of product on Amazon. Like if you were to list all the product types, clothing's like 5 times as many. And here's what's nuts. What's the number one product people go to Amazon to buy? Electronics. Clothing is like number 4 or 5, yet there's way more clothing. So you do have more saturation. You do have more competition.
So your barrier to entry is higher.
Yes, it's hard. It is hard to scale a brand on Amazon. It's not easy. However, here's what's really cool. When you start with a, let's say a jacket, like let's say you're selling that cool jacket. What brand is that? Gia?
I am Gia.
I am Gia. That's really nice.
I like it. They're like kind of unique and funky.
It almost looks like a race car type jacket style or something.
That's why I like
so let's say you're selling that on Amazon or your own brand, okay? Why is the fashion industry so difficult when selling online? Because if I buy a jacket, I don't know if it's going to, I have unusually long arms.
I do too, actually.
Really? Yeah. I get it from my dad. His arms like crazy.
Yeah,
like,
same.
Proportionately, I have short legs and long arms. Like I'm kind of in proportionate. But if I buy something, I need to know it's actually going to fit.
Right.
So there's a couple challenges. If you're manufacturing in Pakistan, China, Europe, these other places, what they will say is a small is not the same as for you.
That's
Chinese
very
people
true, by
are
the way.
smaller people.
Yeah.
No offense. So people in America or Europe tend to be a little bit larger people, just bigger boned. So the other thing is when people buy the product, even if you did the sizing perfectly, once they try it on, there's a huge return level of products when it comes to fashion. Because even if you have that little graph that shows you different, like if you're a medium, if you're small, you still don't know because every body, like literal body, is so freaking unique. And that's what I think makes humans amazing. One of the many things is we're all different.
Right.
Like I have long arms. I tend to have thinner legs. I have to work them out really hard if I want to get them to big. Like it's just who I am. It's partly genetics. So when you try on the jacket or the pants and if they don't fit, you return it. Well, what does that do? That costs money.
Yeah.
It costs time. It's really hard. If you start with an accessory, like a headband, like a sunglass case, like a cool cuff, like things like that are accessory type, like a scarf, your chance of them returning are way lower because it's not like the shape of your body or the size of your body has much impact on whether or not it's going to work. So that's the first thing I would say is start with accessories. So
people can kind of like get to know, like I'm liking this brand. I'm liking their style.
Exactly. Another key on this is the thing with fashion is going to be a really weird illustration. You ready? It's like supplements. The way you differentiate fashion is like supplements. Your options are different. If I'm manufacturing something like this microphone stand right here, I can actually change the thickness of the plastic. I can change the spring. I can change the mechanics of it. But when I'm launching a fashion product, there's only so many mechanics you have.
Yeah. It's style.
Exactly. So it's like supplements. How do you differentiate supplements? The flavor. You come up with the most unique bubblegum, lime / whatever root beer flavor.
Yeah.
Well, fashion's the same way. It has to be how it looks. Well, can you actually trademark or copyright or patent a look? Yes and no. So the pattern in your jacket right now, not the colors, the pattern. So let's just take your right arm. That sounds weird, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. It has like a...
That actual pattern, if they got a copyright on it, you can't get a trademark on that. You can't get a patent. You need a copyright.
Okay.
If someone else came out with that same thing and they try to cover it up by just so you guys who are listening, there are 2 stripes around Ashley's jacket, one above the elbow, one below the elbow. Then there's a long one going from her shoulder all the way to her wrist. If someone else came out with that same pattern and they changed it up so that part of it's like a plaid look and the other is a beige and they try to mix it in, or floral to try to cover up the fact that they use the same pattern, they can get their ass sued. Yeah. Because you got a copyright on it. So it's still hard. There are some companies, and one of our fashion companies goes out and they hunt in malls and they look at products and they say, this is their job. They make sure that no one else is copying that product. And they will find it, they will take a picture of it, they send it to the lawyers, and the lawyer sends them a letter saying, we'll sue you if you... It's like its own full-time business, I kid you not.
Some of the biggest lawsuits have been against, I'm not going to call anybody out, but really big retailers for ripping off like Givenchy and Gucci, and they're copying them. And it's one of those things of how do you feel about it as a person? Because I don't know, if I'm 16 years old and I like the style, but I could never afford Gucci, I do want something similar. Totally. So I don't know. That's a whole politics thing. But
totally get it.
Speaking of selling things, Instagram, I don't know if you know this, they're testing a new feature that lets brands remind their followers about upcoming product launches.
Nice.
So this is very new. They're going to be rolling it out. So they did a whole big thing of, originally they didn't want you to be able to sell through stories. That was like a no-no. And everybody's realizing that people actually like shopping, and they might not have a reminder. But people like shopping. I don't care what you say. We don't want to, but we like shopping.
You think it's because they were trying to avoid the stigma of now we're just a sales platform that makes money.
Right.
We want people to enjoy sharing photos, the original idea. Gotcha.
But I like buying shoes off Instagram. So what's happening now is Facebook is allowing people to do drop reminders that if you follow a hashtag, according to that brand, it will notify you in your story.
Wow.
So it's sort of, you would have to be a little more interactive with it, but it says here, so Adidas, number 36, H&M, Warby Parker, they're being the beta testers. So Adidas the main one.
Yeah.
And they're doing that whole thing. So you'll get notified. It's a big deal in urban fashion. Like I love sneakers, and it's one of my favorite things in New York is to go to sneaker drops, so like Foot Locker, and there'll just be like miles of kids like in line on a Saturday. And it's super fun, and everybody's there for the same purpose. But not everybody has time for the drop. So now they're allowing you to do an online drop. So just like you would get an email saying go to this store, now you're going to get a story notification about that drop.
So I want to make sure I understand. This is awesome. And by the way, those of you guys who are selling online physical products, you need to be listening to this. So Ashley, if I go to my Instagram and let's say there are Nike Air Jordan shoes I want to buy, because I have a couple. So all I do is follow that hashtag.
Yeah.
And then what happens? What's the next thing I will see on my screen?
So I'm actually going to read over exactly what it says. The move is the latest step by Facebook Inc., owned blah, blah, blah. Instagram feature the platform announced earlier this year that lets shoppers complete her transaction without leaving the social network. So you're actually going to be taken from your story when you click that drop
To the shopping cart.
to the shopping cart.
Wow.
So you don't have to. Normally it's taking you
That's
away.
amazing.
So now you're staying in the platform. So people follow their favorite brands and creators, all kinds of tastemakers, to keep up with these interests and discover new products. Instagram writes in their blog post, yada, yada, yada. So the whole idea is that you're not leaving the platform to shop, because up until now you have been redirected off Instagram's platform. So you're going to be going from the story to the product, which now it's going to start prompting you, do you want to see this?
That's incredible.
And then you go over and you shop right in their back end.
That's amazing.
It's just another opportunity that if people are selling, it gives you a point, but it's not overpowering. It's not going to be like a Facebook ad. It's actually just running in your Explore feed.
So it's very organic feeling.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's not an ad. So if it's a story that comes up, it makes it so natural to talk about that product. They click and they buy it right there, and they never leave the platform.
It's based on things that you're already following. So the analytics are so strong now that it's actually saying like, well, you follow Adidas,
right?
So you might be interested in this. And then Adidas can do it on the back end. Well, you're on our mailing list, so it's going to you.
This so well emphasizes the fact that when we build businesses, when you build Instagram followings, if you engage with them, if you guys are, all you listeners out there, if you are creating value for people, then it's only natural that they buy your product, because you've already built that relationship. They believe in what you're doing. They love what you're doing. You've taken the time and you've built it very slowly, very carefully. And then over time, all of a sudden, it's just natural for them to buy. So this is really, really amazing news. I mean, this is so big, Ashley. It's going to change. You know what I really like about it? And Amazon, I love you guys. So those of you guys listening, don't take this personally. This is healthy competition for Amazon.
Yeah.
Like, it means Amazon can't completely dominate. And I know your guys' goal isn't monopoly, but let's face it, you're the big freaking elephant in the room. Oh, we were going to talk about elephants. You're the big elephant, and it allows Instagram and other users to buy using a different platform, which means Amazon's going to have to get that much better for us sellers. Like, they're realizing with Shopify's new fulfillment centers, Amazon isn't everything. Fastest way to cash, in my opinion, yes. But man, having a combination of Amazon and Instagram with its checkout,
well, you could
that's
sell
incredible.
the same product on two platforms. It's giving you like double the opportunity to grow and
more
scale
exposure,
as long as you're paying attention. So this rollout, by the way, I've known this through my friend Jamel. We've been talking about this for 2 years because they have been waiting for this for 2 years.
They were beta testing this with a few brands in the past, weren't they? I kept hearing about just a few brands you could purchase.
They beta tested it and they dropped it.
Man.
And they went back and forth, but for truly 100% e-commerce based businesses that sell people things.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
This is huge.
It's 2 years coming. They're finally rolling it out.
Wow.
So it's super exciting that like now you have that opportunity. And speaking of connecting with your viewers, thanks for you guys like leaving comments on the YouTube. Like we definitely, like if you go look, we both commented. So I actually have a question from one of the YouTubers.
Yeah.
And the question is on the trade war between America and China led by Trump. Does it affect the prices of products and tax? Which yes and no. So the follow-up is there an alternative to the Chinese market? And you know the answer is yes, but like realistically, how does that look for people?
Absolutely. So first of all, a lot of products that are purchased in China, that China produces, do not have tariffs on them. So we have a full-on YouTube video. If you guys go to YouTube, you'll see it. Explains exactly how to find this. We actually go super in-depth for this with the members. JustOneDime.com/freedom is where you can find more information. We do a full training on this, but I'll tell you what I can now in the few minutes I have. When you go to buy a product, to source a product from China, there's a large number of products that we sell on Amazon that don't have tariffs. Some do, some don't. You have to find that out for yourself, and there's ways to do that, and we teach how to do that.
Yep.
But in short, there are other countries that are starting to rise up to become decent, not as, low price, but decent competitors to the China market. One of them being right here in the US. So one strategy you can take is find a manufacturer who already makes something very similar to the product that you're doing, and you have two options. One is you say, look, I'll partner with you. I have this idea. I have a patent. I've protected it. Now I'd like you to manufacture or I'll license you to sell it. Or can I use your manufacturing facility if you're already making these selfie sticks? Well, I got a better one. You have the materials for it.
Right.
Can I partner with you and you can start producing these for us and we'll buy them from you in bulk and then sell them. The other option is you can go to Pakistan, Mexico, Argentina, especially for clothing, Vietnam.
Vietnam and Argentina came up a lot in articles when I was looking this up at different places.
Especially for fashion. So a lot of these countries either have no tariffs or they have very low tariffs. The other thing to remember is don't let this cause you to be afraid to buy from China, because a lot of times the supplier will lower their price to counteract that tariff because they want to keep your business. In some situations, the Chinese government is giving money to these suppliers to allow them to sell more.
Right.
So there's different options. So one of the best things you can do is when you talk to that supplier, bring it up. Say, hey, I understand the tariff on this is going to be 12%.
Don't let it be the elephant in the room.
Exactly. That really is going to affect my profit. What can you do for me? Just open up the conversation.
Okay. So, I mean, that makes sense. Like, if you're running a business and people are going to be involved in it, there needs to be this, like, blunt honesty.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a little bit of a fear of, well, I understand Chinese culture is very different if you're American or whatever.
Totally.
But to just go ahead and be honest about it seems like the best way to push forward. Like, if they don't respond, okay, but just try.
Exactly.
Like, you never know until you try it. Now, I don't have it pulled up. We can drop it in the comments. You guys did an entire blog article on this, and that's my bad. I don't have it linked in my notes.
No worries. And actually, it's not a blog yet, so that was my bad to tell you that. But it is on YouTube. If you guys go to YouTube and you search Just One Dime Tariff, or just say, I've been terrified, then you can find that video. It's a very in-depth. And this, for those of you guys who are members, we have a full step-by-step slideshow training everything on how to navigate the waters of tariffs and all that goes with that.
I'll drop the, I'll give it over to media. They'll find the link to the
Perfect.
YouTube.
And we can just add it.
We're going to put it in the comments. So if you guys are on YouTube, you can find it.
Awesome. Cool. Guys, I hope you have absolutely loved and enjoyed this podcast or JODCast episode with your very own Seth Can You Keep It Real and Ashley M. Lance. Ashley, it's been awesome.
It's been awesome. Thank you.
Just sharing, doing live, talking. I hope that you guys get a ton of value. I just want to say one last thing, and then Ashley, you wrap it up. No matter where you are or who you are, you have what it takes to build the life that you love.
Absolutely.
That is truth. I will die on that. That sounds nice to say, but it's actually freaking true, you guys. I know that because I've seen people go from complete poverty to multimillionaire because they started to believe, they took action, and now they're exploding on Amazon and e-commerce.
You're done when you stop. So don't stop. And by the way, leave us comments on the YouTube, any platform.
Yes.
We definitely read them. We'll definitely include them in the show.
Yep.
A lot of them are really great and applicable, and they teach me as well. So I love it. Thanks you guys for watching.
Thanks everybody. You guys have an awesome day.
Gone.